Hello, and thanks for joining another episode on the Frosty Sith channel. I mentioned in the August Tuesday teaser that we would be reviewing some at-home testing, and that's what today's episode is about. So stay tuned, and we're going to dive into some at-home blood work tests. Okay, so I have several tests here, and as you can imagine, I went ahead and opened one of them because I was concerned there would be confidential serial numbers and other tracking numbers and those kinds of things inside the box, and there are, and they're on the outside of the box as well. So this is what the box comes in. So inside of each one of these is a different kind of test, and from letsgetchecked.com, and you can get online, set up your account, order the product, they ship it right to your house. It looks like this with the address label on the other side, and you take the plastic off. This box is on the inside, so there is some confidential information in here, but we're going to review the instructions and we'll take a look at some of the other contents, like the little vial. Oops, it's got a number on it too. The little vial that you're going to fill with blood. And we're not going to show the blood on, or the collection of that on here, because it may violate some kind of YouTube thing, and people may just generally not want to see it. But these are lancets to prick your finger with to collect the blood. Then there is a biohazard bag to put the blood sample into, and there's a return mailing slip envelope in here as well. So I think these other things we can leave out. I don't think there's anything confidential. There is some numbers, tracking numbers on the tube. So let's take a look at the instructions, and then I've got the Surface, Microsoft Surface here, and we'll get online and check out some stuff from the website as well. So the instructions: wash your hands with warm soapy water and dry thoroughly. That's number one. Number two, the best location for collecting the blood from is from the fourth finger on the non-dominant hand. So the ring finger on whichever hand is not your dominant hand. You're supposed to use the Alcatip swab provided, which is one of the swabs contained in this little baggie, to clean the finger, whichever one you're going to use, and then dry it with a clean tissue. Step 3, remove one of the lancets from the bag, twist to remove the blue stick, and the lancet is then ready to use. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. That's going to be straightforward. Make sure to stand while collecting the blood drops. Position the lancet against the rounded tip of your finger and press down firmly, and then it's probably going to prick you just like a blood glucose device does to get blood from. Should you need to repeat, use a new lancet. So the reason there's 4 lancets is if you need to do it again, you've got clean lancets to do that. Step 5, make sure to stand while collecting blood. Position the lancet against the rounded tip of the finger and press down firmly. I think we just said that, right? So step 5 reads the same as step 4, but the photograph is different. So the photograph shows using your other hand to do this on the finger that you pricked. Number 6, gently massage from your hand down to your finger to help drops of blood flow into the collection tube, which is that little tube that I showed you a minute ago. Do not squeeze the tip of the finger. You must fill the blood collection tube with your sample, or your sample will be rejected from the laboratory. Number 7, place the lid back on the blood collection tube and press down firmly until you hear a click. Gently invert the collection tube 5 to 10 times. This is vital for the sample to be preserved in the laboratory, and so typically, like when you get lab tests at the doctor, there's a little bit of something inside the tube that helps preserve the blood, so same thing here. Step 8, seal your sample in the biohazard bag provided, then place the bag into the test box that it came in, so into the white box, and then return using the supplied envelope, the box containing the sample back to them. Send the test back immediately after collection. Check the return label for different delivery methods. Okay, then there's the fine print. So that is the nuts and bolts directions. I think it's pretty simple. So again, what we've got are 4 lancets, a couple of sterile wipes, a couple of band-aids to go on the prick sites, and some alcohol prep swabs, 2 of them as well. So that's for collecting the blood, and then here's the biohazard stuff. Now, some of the information that is confidential in the box, so there's tracking number on the blood collection sample tube that I showed you a minute ago with the yellow cap, and there's also on the inside of this lid, there's another printed label on the inside of the lid with the tracking number, and I'm sure it probably goes to this sample tube. And then there's other information that you fill in on that. There's also a card, looks like a business card, that you keep. So there's the side without the confidential information on it, that you keep, that has the codes that match the lid of the box and the blood sample tube that you're sending in, so that you get to keep this for your records. So, and then you go online and you do some stuff there too on your website, so that they then know how to connect these numbers to your particular account on the website. Okay, so we're gonna close up the box with the confidential numbers, and we're gonna go wash our hands and prep according to the directions. We're gonna take the blood sample, and then we're gonna come back to you and finish it up. We're also gonna be doing some screen capture here on the surface of the website, and as long as it doesn't show a lot of confidential information, then I'll add that into the video so you can see exactly what the URL and the process is and that kind of thing. So, okay, we'll be back to you shortly. Okay, so the first thing the kit says is to activate your kit before testing. So activating the kit. So we're going to go to Let's Get Checked.com/activate. So LETSGETCHECKED www.washyourhands.com/activate. Now, your kit activation codes. So I've got my little card here that they provided. So I'm going to enter this information and then activate the test. Okay, so I'm going to enter these details and so my gender, my birthday, etc., and then we'll move on. So then I'm going to answer these questions. Do I smoke cigarettes? No. Do I drink alcohol? No. So I'm going to fill this out and hit continue. Nope, I don't suffer from any chronic medical conditions. I'm going to review my information. Continue. Okay, so I just got off the phone and UPS. I still got time to get it out in UPS today. So we're going to go ahead and enter it that way. So it's asking me some basic medical questions. So I'm going to answer those. This is all real simple. Okay, so the test is now activated. So now I can collect the blood, put it in the bio bag, and take it to UPS. And then tomorrow I can process these as I see fit. So now we're going to cut. We're going to take the sample and get this little puppy filled up. It's not a huge vial, so but we're going to fill it because it said to fill it. And we're going to shake it 5 to 10 times. Bag it, box it, put it in the envelope, and get it shipped off. So we'll be back to you shortly. Can you overfill it, you wonder? Okay. And these things don't hurt, but they sure surprisingly make you bleed a lot better than like the little finger pricks that you give yourself for taking blood glucose measurements, etc. So insert specimens and absorbent material into the bag. Make sure that the upper part of the bag, where there is an adhesive backing, is flat. Pre-crease fold line to help folding. So here's the opening. Here's the tape. And there's this. So I would think it would go like that. So I'll pull the adhesive off after I put the sample in here, and then pull the adhesive off, and then stick this like that. Okay. Nope. Hopefully that's mixed up good. So we're going to put this in here. Seems like that's good. Pull that over. Okay, So there's my little baggie. So we're just going to put everything back in the box and get it in the shipping label and go mail it. Okay, well, I just got back from dropping all my tests off at the UPS drop location. So in about 5 days, I should get all the test results. So roughly a week is my expectation. And then I'll be able to log into my account online and see the results, so I don't have to wait for anything back in the mail or anything like that. And then I'll be able to long-term monitor the certain tests that I'm interested in more frequently than once a year, which is what I've been doing with my medical doctor when I do an annual exam and I visit him once a year. So it just gives me a little more control. And you know, the whole part of being physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight, you know, part of that is just being able to manage myself to do those things. And my health is no different. And so this allows me to establish a baseline that's much more detailed. Some of these data points, you know, it's normal to be within a certain range, and if you know what your own range is personally, then you're probably going to be more empowered medically than if you just have one data point a year, because as you can imagine, some years you may go in just a certain time of day or stress load that you have, and you may be on the high point of that test that you're taking or the low point. But if you had a lot more data points, you may know that, well, those are just in kind of the normal range for you. So that's my interest in it, and we'll probably follow up on a later video that just, you know, reports back if I had any issues or how I'm liking the service, this particular service, because there's lots of them out there. So anyway, thanks for joining. I know this is a little different than the backcountry stuff that we normally focus on, but you know, there's more to being physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight than just backcountry technique, and staying healthy is one of them. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you get notifications every week when new content's uploaded on the Frosty Sith channel. All right, thanks again, and remember, get up, get out, live a little. See ya.